A friend of mine was talking to someone who was excited to announce that he accumulated over $1 million in his 401k when you're retired at age 60, which is the earliest you can withdraw from your 401k without incurring any penalty. At first I thought, that's awesome. That's what I'm striving to do. But I already know that I have to supplement my 401k with other income generating strategies to have a comfortable retirement. And then being the geek that I am, I started doing the math in my head. Let's say he planned to live till he was 80 years old, which is reasonable to think in this day and age. And so that means he'd have over $1 million to survive off for 20 years. Am I correct? Well, not exactly, because if he was in the average American tax bracket, that means that $1 million in that 401k is still going to get taxed at 25%. Excuse my back to you again, being a southpaw here, which comes up to $750,000, which means that he'd have about $3,000 a month in retirement income for 20 years, plus his Social Security. Now, if he waited to receive the full benefit, which wouldn't come for an additional 6 years at age 66, using the same averages, that would be about another $1,200 a month, totaling about $4,200 a month in retirement income for the next 20 years. In a previous coaching tip, I introduced you to the 70-10-10-10 plan, which means for every dollar you earn, you spend no less than 70 cents. So let's put a retirement spin on this budget strategy. So the first 10% going to savings, in this case would be about $420. That doesn't change. You're still going to have some emergencies when you retire. And after all, you are retired, so you want to live it up, right? This can go to buying a boat or going on an African safari or saving up for a cruise or something fun like that. The next 10% will still go to tithing or charity, another $420. That never changes. But what about this next 10%? Because you're already retired. Well, there's something that becomes more significant when you're retired, and that is legacy. What are you going to leave for your family and generations to come? So put this money to work. Talk to a financial planner and see what type of return they can give you on a certain type of financial plan, or invest in real estate, or invest in a business so you can build a future for generations to come. And then what about this other 70 cents? It becomes a whole lot different, because when you retire, you have no mortgage or car note, right? Well, unless you're going through that little midlife crisis. I know you may need to have that convertible red Corvette. So this may be a little bit different depending on where you are. And then taxes may be different as well, because you have two different ways to receive your 401k distribution. Either right up front, as I introduced you to in this example, or you can take that $1 million in monthly periodic distributions where you're still taxed off the top. But talk to your tax specialist and your financial planner to see what strategy will work best for you. But as you can see in this example, why we should all strive to be millionaires. Because you're going to need at least this amount to retire from, or maybe even more. But you can also see why people don't have enough for retirement, either because they wait too late, or they still have a car note, or still have a mortgage that they need to pay towards. And then $1 million is a lot to think about, but it can easily be achievable if you got started now, got started early, and just accumulated over the 30, 40 years over time. And if you didn't start early and you are concerned about achieving $1 million, don't lose hope. There are additional strategies in addition to an IRA or 401k or Roth IRA. You can talk with a financial planner about using your savings to build a different income strategy, so you can earn a return on interest or dividends. Or you can start investing in real estate, or maybe you start investing in a business. But the earlier you start, the better. So we all should strive to become millionaires to have a comfortable retirement. And then you can see why it's important that you live with purpose.
I just wanna